Yo, this is the longest I've ever sat here waiting to do an intro. I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. YouTube's darkest channels, number 5. Always keep it a buck with y'all. You know how Nick Crowley rock. You know this video about to be so damn dark. I wasn't gonna watch it because after that last one we watched, oh my gosh, remember the freaking smoking one, dude? Freaking crazy. And then was that the one also? We got the story with the lady who was like a news anchor, got fired. She was dancing. I don't remember exactly, but I just remember the video being hella dark, whatever. But yo, check out the original video. Link will be in the description below. But let's go.
Following video is sponsored by Keeps.
High in the sky, where the sun shines all day, every day.
I heard about
The
15
site's
to
called
20 gunshots.
YouTube.com, and that's YOU.
That shit was dope.
I don't give up, and I do not let down.
And now, our feature presentation.
Hi everyone, this is a YouTube video that I've made as a community service.
Flight. For some of us, it's a luxury, a quick and easy way from point A to point B, while for others, it's an anxiety inducer, a mortal fear even. But for 53-year-old Zahari Ahmad Shah, flying was simply his life. His passion started at the age of just 20, when Zahari would begin studying and training to become a pilot, until eventually becoming a full-time captain years down the line. He went on to log over 18,000 hours of flight time, without receiving so much as a single blemish on his record. As a pilot, his skills and work ethic were impeccable, earning him great respect among his peers. While outside of work, he was really just a normal guy. He had a flourishing family with a wife and 3 children, as he spent most of his free time either with them, or fishing, cooking, and perusing social media, with one of his favorite sites being YouTube. Not only was Zahari an active user, but he would also post an occasional video or two of himself, of which very little ever stood out.
And this is how it looks like.
As at the time, his channel seemed destined for obscurity. However, it wouldn't turn out this way, as in the end, it would take just a single day for his channel to become one of YouTube's darkest.
Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your safety, please observe the presentation of safety procedures on the screen at the front.
April 27th, 2010, Zahari's channel is launched, at first being primarily used to listen to music, as well as watching the latest viral video that the site had to offer. And it wasn't until the start of 2013 that he would begin uploading videos of his own. And when I previously mentioned that very little stood out in these videos, that may have actually been an understatement, since they all came across as almost painfully normal. His first upload was the first of a 2-part instructional video on how to save money on your air conditioning. And in it, we see his wife occasionally jump in to help Zahari as he shares his tips on reducing the cost of electricity bills.
Now you need to push the blue line of the air. So she's gonna do it for 1 second.
The 2 videos were certainly informative, but visually there isn't much to unpack here, with the exception of one detail. As behind Zahari was what appeared to be a massive flight simulator right within his home.
Fix the leakage or fix any problem that is in the system.
It was a device that Zahari had put together himself and used both for fun and to hone his skills. And considering his line of work and what we know about him, this wasn't all that surprising, as he not only took his job very seriously, but he also just genuinely loved to fly. From there, Zahari would go on to publish 5 other videos following this same formula. Low-quality tutorials like how to properly seal your windows,
That you can do, and it's very effective.
And how to clean your air conditioning unit.
Lift up the bottom part.
None of
The channel don't seem dark. It don't even really seem weird neither. It just seemed like it's a channel that like I don't know, an older person or a parent would make. I'm not seeing the dark part.
and how to clean your air conditioning unit,
Lift up the bottom part.
none of which ever really had a chance of making him rich or famous, but that was never the point. As for Zahari, this channel really only served as a way to help others, going out of his way to make useful videos for those who could really benefit from them, and going out of his way to make
You one of them that made them. Remember, y'all. I don't know how long y'all been on YouTube. Y'all ever been like looking for tutorials, and you bump into the ones with loud ass music behind it, and they just write the shit out on like Notepad? Boy, I used to dislike the shit out the videos. I hate them, dog.
This channel really only served as a way to help others, going out of his way to make useful videos for those who could really benefit from them, and he did so only out of the goodness of his heart, as he received nothing in return. And to those who knew Zahari at the time, this was exactly the kind of man he was, a good and honest person, always wanting to provide others with a helping hand.
Breaking news tonight.
But that was then. And today, Zahari is viewed much, much differently, with it all going back to one day, a day in which Zahari's life and the world itself would forever be changed.
I will now brief you on the safety procedures to be observed on this airplane.
March 8th, 2014, Captain Zahari clocks in for duty at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, with his first flight being a roughly 6-hour trip to Beijing International
Damn, my hand was stuck like that for a minute. What?
Airport. In the cockpit alongside him would be 27-year-old Farik Abdul Hamid, a first officer partaking in his final training flight before facing examination to become an official captain. Together, the pair was well-versed and well-equipped, as Zahari himself had made this trip countless times before. And by 12:42 a.m., the massive Boeing 777, its 12 crew members, and 227 passengers would take to the sky en route to yet another routine trip to Beijing. Little did the passengers know at the time, but from the moment that flight left the ground, their fate was forever sealed, as they now had a front row seat to one of the most shocking aviation events in human history.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing. At this hour, a desperate search is underway for MH Flight 370.
That day, Malaysia Flight 370 would lose radar signal not even an hour into its course, and essentially vanish into thin air, with its final destination still being unknown to this day. And right at the very center of this mysterious event was its captain, Zahari Shah. What exactly happened on that fateful flight is and will likely always remain a mystery, but in recent years there has been at least a vague outline of events constructed that seem to point to one disturbing conclusion. At approximately 1:19 a.m., Captain Zahari would make contact with air traffic controllers as his plane was leaving Malaysian airspace and heading into Vietnamese airspace.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
Though from there, Zahari would never contact the team in Vietnam, and instead, the transponder within the plane that essentially acts as a tracking device for officials on the ground would be manually turned off just 2 minutes after Zahari's final message. With this, the plane had essentially become invisible to the world below, with the exception of a far less reliable tracker built within the plane.
See, I'm telling you, though, and it is stuff like that I be thinking about, was why my anxiety is so damn high when it comes to flying. My bad, yo, this video got me tuned in, dog. But look, like, I don't know who flying this. I don't know who flying this plane. Like, you never know what this person's thinking of. I don't know if he did some ish, but what I'm thinking though, like, what if he had like this idea to try something? Like he said, we don't know. I mean, I remember hearing about this story, but I don't know the details about it. What if he had an idea to try to do some ish, trying to get like a good YouTube video? I don't know what he was trying to do, and end up doing something where it's like, I don't want to say disappear, but what I never understood these stories where like flights come up missing. Like, bro, this airplane is huge as shit. Most people only have a phone, so it's a lot of GPS. I know it depends on where you at. I know it's probably not in reach. But I just be wondering with these flights, like, man, this when conspiracy mode kick in. Like, did you really go somewhere else? Like, is it possible to leave this bitch? Yo, we're gonna start the video real quick. We're gonna get a little conspiracy mode, just talk a little ish. Not saying it's true, but when I heard it, it was dope, bruh. I was watching 85 South, matter of fact. Carlos said it. He was like, what it, because, you know, everybody talk about people about to soon leave planet Earth or whatever, all this crap. He's like, what if that already happened before? Like, what if the moon was the old planet that we already left before and we already on a new planet and we're about to do it again? Bro, it's just some stuff you be thinking about. Look, I don't know. Let's start the video. I ain't saying it's true, but this first story so far ain't giving me dark vibes. It's just giving me conspiracy type of vibes. This is basically what I'm trying to say.
World below, with the exception of a far less reliable tracker built within the plane that couldn't be manually shut down. The device works by sending out a ping with the plane's coordinates once every hour, which, when analyzed, showed investigators that rather than heading towards Beijing, the plane had instead done a complete 180 immediately following Zahari's final transmission, and was actually heading in the direction of Australia before the signal was lost for good somewhere over the Indian Ocean. This information would only grow more concerning, as in 2015, small pieces of the craft began washing ashore in various locations, some of which showing damage consistent with a plane that had struck water at high speeds. Taking all this into consideration, it does seem likely that the plane had ultimately crashed into the Indian Ocean, with the larger parts of the craft likely having sunk to the bottom around the location of that final ping.
With deep sadness that I must inform you, flight MH370 ended in the southern Indian Ocean.
And with the depths in that area reaching over 3 miles deep, it's very likely that these parts may never be found. But though this seems like a logical conclusion, this theory fails to provide an explanation as to how the plane got so far off course, as no navigational or electrical failure could have ever accounted for the bizarre movement of the flight, which is where Captain Zahari comes into play. For starters, that transponder was turned off immediately after he had given that final message, which was then followed by the plane turning 180 degrees and heading in the complete opposite direction, ultimately to its demise. Both of these actions are extremely noteworthy, as they were not only undoubtedly deliberate, but they also could have only been done from inside the cockpit, a place in which only Zahari and Farik had access to, immediately making the two pilots the primary suspects, with Zahari quickly emerging as suspect number 1. According to those close to Zahari, his mental health had seemingly been on the decline for months, and potentially even years leading up to the event, and according to his own daughter, her father had become quote-unquote unrecognizable, with others adding that he was in no mental shape to be flying. Along with this, Zahari had seemingly been having struggles with his marriage, as he had been caught on numerous occasions flirting with other women over social media, causing a rift that you would never sense by watching his videos.
And Nur Hayati here, my
I peeped that shit when she was up there, cause low key, what I was thinking, I was like she being forced, cause she ain't look happy. I say that much, man.
Sense by watching his videos.
And Nur Hayati here, my helper.
And on the subject of these videos, one of the most damning pieces of evidence used against Zahari had actually made an appearance in his very first upload.
Oh yeah!
Upon investigators
Cause that plane is on, unless I'm tripping, this plane is on water right now, right? Cause I thought it was on land, like waiting to take off. Is this mug on water right now? That's fucked up if you really did that. Shit, it is dark, bro. Nobody make no videos like this with their kids. Who want to make this shit? Like, Dad, I don't want to do this shit. This shit boring. Got these kids saving money on air conditioners. Get the Got of here with that. Yeah, this shit is weird. Everybody, I take it back. It's getting dark.
Nur Hayati here, my helper.
And on the subject of these videos, one of the most damning pieces of evidence used against Zahari had actually made an appearance in his very first upload. Upon investigators searching Zahari's home for clues, they would analyze the flight simulator seen in the background of this video, where they discovered a disturbing clue. Within the data of the flight simulator, it was found that Zahari had charted a course and practiced flying a route that matched nearly identically to the one Flight 370 was said to have taken that fateful day. And given just how obscure that route was, investigators believed that this couldn't have been a coincidence. As to make matters even stranger, Zahari had actually tried to scrub the data from the device just 1 month before that fateful flight.
Some data has been deleted from the simulator, and forensic work to retrieve this data is ongoing.
Taking all of this into consideration, the narrative was quickly formed that Captain Zahari had premeditated this entire disaster as some sort of murder-suicide mission, with this now becoming the most widely believed and currently most likely theory to explain the mystery of Flight 370. Though it is important to remember that this is just that, a theory, and it is in no way a concrete conclusion.
Which is true.
However, if this were to be true, that would make Zahari Ahmad Shah the most prolific killer in YouTube's history, by a huge margin, as he would have been responsible for the deaths of over 238 people, with his channel potentially featuring the very device that this whole event was plotted on.
Thank you for your attention. Do enjoy our golden service.
It's hard to believe that Mint Mobile can be good
Hey,
for
Ryan
just
Reynolds, get off my
$15
shit.
a month. So
Do you want to hear something truly horrifying? 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the age of just 35. But thankfully, today's sponsor Keeps is here to help. Keeps is a clinically proven and research-backed treatment that not only stops hair
I'm about to
loss,
say where we going, bro. I'm gonna leave all the links for bro's sponsor and everything in the description below as well.
Crowley.
All about America. America is a pretty amazing place.
October 2nd, 2010. A bizarre 7-minute video titled, "America, Your Last Memory in a Terrorist Country," is posted to YouTube depicting a masked man in a robe setting fire to the American flag. The video is accompanied by a rambling description stating, "I want you to imagine a comet or meteoroid coming through the atmosphere. On the other hand, welcome yourself to the desert. Maybe your ability to protest is from the brainwashing of the current government structure." This incoherent writing and strange video would be the only content featured on a channel called Star Hitchnaz, but it would be far from the only upload that its creator would make to the platform in general. The man's real name is Jared Lautner, and over the course of 2010, he would use YouTube as a way of critiquing society in the United States, with most, if not all of his videos coming across as extremely disjointed and showing clear indications that Jared himself was completely delusional. However, he wasn't always this way, as growing up, he lived a fairly normal life in Tucson, Arizona, becoming a decent student and even a talented musician. And it wasn't until high school that things would really take a turn for the worst, when his then girlfriend,
My bad, I was saying that because I was kind of living in and out that area.
until high school that things would really take a turn for the worst, when his then girlfriend, a young lady named Kelsey Hawkins, would unexpectedly end their relationship. Something that Jared would never recover from, as immediately following this, he would fall into a deep depression before eventually turning to drugs and alcohol to cope. With this, his once kind and caring personality would become bitter and defiant as he began lashing out against his teachers and bosses, something that first led to Jared losing his job at Quiznos and his position at a local animal shelter, with this trend continuing on into 2006, when Jared would leave high school and never return, instead becoming a social recluse within his parents' home. There, Jared's only interaction with the outside world would come in the form of conspiracy forums and blogs, as Jared not only became more and more detached from the world around him, but he also became more and more angry at it as well.
I'm telling you, dog, I got a partner like that, man. I love the conspiracy-ish. I love it, but I love the way I treat it. I treat it the same way I treat, not to throw a lot of entertainment, a lot of type of music I listen to. I listen to a lot of ignorant music. I ain't gonna cap. A lot of music I listen to, I treat it the same way. I understand when this shit go off. This shit was off of my entertainment. Don't let it suck you in, bro. My partner, when I say he is so deep into conspiracy mode that he hates any and every damn thing that happened around this planet. And the crazy part is, he like one of the funniest people I know. He the reason why I legit feel like I roast all the time, because this dude don't do shit but roast people. But bro, I kid you not, bro, be in that shit. I be like, man, this shit crazy. And I got a partner like, my bad, I got a partner like that in Texas too. I still remember when he had started, dog. We was in high school. I was just moving there too. And he started dibbling and dabbling in the whole, you remember like the 9/11 ish, that everybody was, that's usually how everybody kind of start getting into it, I guess. I don't know. Next thing I know, he was sending me links to everything. Look, peep this. I told you. But it's basically one of them videos. You know which ones I'm talking about, where it's like, everything is out to kill you. Everything is a setup. Everything's bad. And it could be. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the ish I be looking into, a lot of it I do be believing. But at the same time, I know, like, bruh, if I just sit here being mad at it all day, especially if I'm not doing nothing about it, boy, I'm gonna go crazy myself, because I'm gonna feel like I gotta, because people around you, like, they brush you off. They not there yet. They not trying to hear that. So now it's just building up in you, and you just seen all this ignorant shit. You know, social media shows everybody ignorance. Now, my bad for this long rant, but hey, it's needed. So now you just seeing how stupid people are. You're like, I hate it, boom, boom, boom. It was a few of y'all in the comment section. I be knowing y'all be like talking about how mad y'all be at other people. I'm telling you, do not let that shit eat you. It's so many comments I read, rather people agreeing, disagreeing, whatever. It's at the end of the day, it's not going to get to me. It's not going to, when I leave YouTube, that's the end of that comment for me. That it's done. I'm not going to go downstairs or upstairs, wherever I'm doing, and just be sitting there thinking like, man, but what if this man was, nope. Because I understand my mental is different from your mental. I grew up different than you did. We both saw shit different. I get it. Our views are going to be different. These are my point of views. Those are yours. There's nothing I can do about that. Man, this shit about, my bad for that big rant, but this about to get dark. I already know it.
From the world around him.
I know it.
But he also became more and more angry at it as well, with a specific hatred developing for the government. An idea that was only amplified on the date of August 25th, 2007.
And today, a chance to bring those kinds of concerns straight to Representative Gabrielle Giffords as she brought Congress to the corner of Grant and Craycroft.
That day, Jared would attend an event in the Tucson area held by the then Arizona Senator Gabrielle Giffords, where local citizens could ask questions or raise concerns directly to the senator herself. And on that day, Jared would be given a chance to speak briefly with her, which he'd take advantage of by asking the question, what is government if words have no meaning? It's unknown exactly how Senator Giffords responded to this, but according to Jared, he felt as though she had brushed aside his question and essentially ignored it altogether by moving right on to the next person, clearly not taking Jared seriously, which was said to have infuriated.
See, because people don't be there. I'm telling you what I say. And it's get to eating you up a lot because people ain't hearing you. You feel like you just know, but people ain't hearing you. Shit get to building up, then that rage just come out. Rage. Did I say rage? Boy, I promise I ain't got roaches. I don't know where that came from.
Person, clearly not taking Jared seriously, which was said to have infuriated him, as his hatred for the government that had been brewing for some time had become even more justified in his mind. And things were about to get much worse, as after the event, Jared would receive a letter from Senator Giffords' team thanking him for attending the function, only to have his last name misspelled on the document. For Jared, the whole ordeal with this senator was too much for him to bear, as he believed that the government was run by incompetent and illiterate people who were nowhere near his intelligence level, with the misspelled name becoming a fixation of his, as he slowly began to believe that he was the only literate person left throughout the world. with this going on to inspire the content he'd create here on YouTube. The video created by Jared showing him burning an American flag features a pretty self-explanatory message on how he felt about America as a whole, but this clip was far from his most scathing upload, with that having come just a few weeks prior.
I'm in a terrible place. This is my genocide school.
At the time, Jared had been attending Pima Community College, a school featuring a program designed to help high school dropouts get their lives back on track and eventually actually obtain a college degree, which in theory sounded like a great thing for Jared, though in reality, its results only proved to sink him further. During his time at Pima, police would be called to his classes on 5 separate occasions when Jared would protest, argue with, and defy his teachers, as he had major problems with any and all authority figures in his life. After all, he believed that he was by far the most intelligent person on the planet, and feeling wronged and frustrated with his schooling, his feelings would all spill out in one video posted to a now deleted channel, showing Jared behind the camera touring his campus.
This is Pima Community College. The students are so illiterate that it affects their daily lives. They're controlling the grammar. They control the grammar. How's it going? Thanks for the B. I'm pissed off. What's that? I lost my freedom of speech to that guy. All the teachers that you have are being paid illegally and have a legal authority over the Constitution of the United States under the First Amendment.
And the crazy part is, dog, these people do be intelligent. They do be smart. I can't, just because you hate these people, you can't take that from them. Damn, it feels like it becomes a double-edged sword. Because it's like, man, I'm telling you, y'all, you're not seeing this. Y'all doing exactly what the government wants. This is bullshit. We're fucking it up. We need to do this better. And you be wanting to get the message off, cause and again, I'm not saying wrong or right. I'm saying I get the intelligence as far as the things he's talking about. Like, cause the shit he was talking about was not wrong. And you be wanting to change everyone, but that's where the problem is. It's not only that you can't. Most people are not going to be ready. Most people do not want to. They'll straight up tell you. The part what he said about the grammar is so true. They do control the grammar. It's a GG for that. A new song can drop today. A new rap song, be honest. Using a new word, it'll be the new word that everybody using. And you know what's funny? Cap. Like, that's really an old ass word. No cap. But I hate how it's a big part of my vocabulary. I legit hate that fucking word. Like, I used to legit hate swag. But it's stuck because a lot of the ish I do is from ish that's before my time, ish that's probably past my time, and shit that's during my time. I can't help it. I just love things when it comes to this planet. But at the same time, I get it. Dip it back. To the younger generation, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes it just feel like, oh no, I'm gonna come back. I ain't throwing no shots at y'all. I'm just saying. But I get what he's saying. Like, he's not wrong. No cap. Stop playing so much. But that's the problem, though. Honestly, don't try to change everybody. That's what I be telling. That's why I feel like the key to life is just happiness, man, within yourself. Is you really have to love yourself first. You really got to be happy with yourself first. Because when you do, I think you'll understand. You just look at people like, you just get to look at them like, yep, you're doomed. Hey, but I'm enjoying life. It's sad, but don't worry about anybody else. Unless they're your kids, I get it at that point. Family, I wouldn't even say that. I don't know. Kids, I'll say yeah, but family, I mean, you could try. I give them a try. I say that, but yeah, other than that,
over the Constitution of the United States under the First Amendment.
It's not hard to understand the concern behind this video, as Jared was clearly mentally ill at the time.
If the student is unable to locate the external universe, then the student is unable to locate the internal universe. Where is all my subjects? I could say something sound right now, but I don't feel like it.
And filled with so much obvious anger that could be heard seeping out of his voice. And given that no one really knew what he was capable of doing, the video would quickly be sent to school administrators, who immediately perceived it to be a threat. This led to Jared's instant removal from the school, with the option being given for him to return again if he were to receive psychiatric help. This, however, never happened. And instead, Jared would only isolate himself even further, with his internal rage reaching an all-time high, and his delusions as well, all of which would be documented on his final channel called Class It Up 10. The videos here are some of the most bizarre that you'll ever see, as they feature only text writings from Jared, who discusses his problems with society, as well as his ways to fix it.
If I'm thinking of creating a new currency, then I'm thinking of a design for my new coin, size, shape, color, material, and image to start a new money system. I'm thinking of creating a new currency. Therefore, I'm thinking of a design for my new coin, size, shape, the same thing, right?
In his first upload, he tells his audience that he was creating a new currency, a new letter to be added to the alphabet, and even a new number, which he believed would reject the government's authority and give him some control of the currency, the numbers, and the language of society. And his postings wouldn't stop there. He wrote about how he believed he could control every belief and every religion by being a quote-unquote mind controller, of which he offered no other context for. By this point, his words were almost impossible to fully understand, leading to his final video in which he stated, "My ambition is for informing illiterate dreamers about a new currency. In a few days, you'll know I'm concise dreaming. Thank you." These were the final words written to the Class It Up 10 YouTube channel, and the final trace of Jared left behind on YouTube, as in his mind, he was now in control of society, and all that was left to do was show the world.
In a democracy, people have the power, and in America, that means you.
In the early morning hours of January 8th, 2011, Jared checked into a motel room where he would post a photo to his MySpace page of a gun on top of a US textbook, along with a series of other lewd photographs of him in women's underwear, featuring the message, "Dear friends, please don't be mad at me. The literacy rate is below 5%. I haven't talked to one person who is literate." After this, Jared would go on to attend another political event happening within the parking lot of a nearby Safeway store, with this event being that same one that he had went to years before, with it being hosted by none other than Senator Gabby Giffords, the villain in his story, and soon to be the main target of his rage.
Oh, is this the... Wait, no. I'm thinking something else.
It happened in just 15 seconds. As the senator was meeting citizens one by one, Jared would promptly cut the line, pull out his pistol, and open fire at point-blank range. His first shot would strike Gabby Giffords directly in the forehead, before he turned the gun on the crowd of innocent bystanders and fired at random. In total, 13 people would be struck before Jared was tackled to the ground and restrained, and of those victims, tragically, 6 would lose their lives, quite literally in the matter of a few seconds, a short yet devastating rampage. But shockingly, Gabby Giffords would not be one of these 6 victims to lose their lives, as despite being shot directly...
Boy, he gonna be big mad. Like she was the main villain and she pulled through. Boy, that's hella messed up, man. You legit, yeah, that's delusional. Created her to be a villain in your story, bro. I get it, the name been messed up, I get it, that it's not that bad, man. I'm sure it was a mistake. Even if it wasn't, that's what I mean though, man. Can't change everybody's mind, don't. Yeah, let people be them.
A short yet devastating rampage. But shockingly, Gabby Giffords would not be one of these 6 victims to lose their lives, as despite being shot directly through the head, she would eventually go on to survive the ordeal and has since gone on to make an incredible recovery. Jared's multiple channels remain live and now sit dormant, in a state that will likely never be changed, as he is destined to live out the remainder of his life in prison, with those final videos serving as a brief glimpse into the mind of one of the most disturbed killers in the United States' recent history. A troubled man who, much like our next YouTuber, had their final thoughts and final delusions captured right here on YouTube. Only in the case of the Indigo Mystic, her disturbing conclusion would play out right on her channel for the whole world to see.
The ancient Egyptians
had always been the perfect mother, but you'll have a hard time keeping this mother down.
Hello, everybody. It's the Indigo Mystic. Toodaloo.
Okay.
Her name is Jessica Worsham, a 43-year-old mother of 2 living in Houston, Georgia. From an early age, Jessica viewed herself as different from most others in the world, believing that she possessed psychic abilities that not many could comprehend, which was ultimately the inspiration behind her YouTube channel, The Indigo Mystic, a page that aimed to open a dialogue with others like her.
Makes me think of
and
Pokemon.
From its inception back in April of 2013, her content was apparently very lighthearted, and for the most part, almost entirely positive. A trend that has long since ended. For years, Jessica had been living as an unemployed single mother with her 2 children, and given her lack of income, she struggled to find permanent residency for her family. Or at least that was until the year 2019, when family friends would allow them to live rent-free in a home they were selling. They allowed Jessica and the kids to stay in the vacant home until someone would buy the property, which ultimately would wind up taking nearly 3 whole years, meaning that all that time, Jessica and her children were able to live there without paying a single dime. The situation really should have been a dream come true for Jessica, yet when those 3 years were up, her reaction was far from grateful, as she immediately...
Exactly. You know what's crazy? As much as I know that, I learned that more and more from the comments on this Camp Crystal Charlie channel. Like you really cannot help people that really need your help. Like a lot of the times you can't, dog. Perfect example. Love my mom. When she was with my stepdad, I'm about to tell you some crazy shit. So when she was with my stepdad, I got this cousin. He subscribed to the channel. What up, Brandon? You already know what I'm talking about. Close as shit. We like brothers, dog. His mom doing business, and said she owned houses in Flint, so she rent them out. Renting out to my dad. My dad stayed not too far, and boom, got his crib. Rent one to my mom. My mom got one. We on Salone. If you in Flint, you know how it is. We on Salone. Sloan, however you say it. The 6. So P. Rent started going up. Got to go up a little bit. Of course, my auntie let my mom them know that. Yes, because you cannot mix business with family. As a kid, I understood this. Like I'm like, why are my parents mad? Like this is business. Like, bro, I kid you not, I'm a kid seeing this shit like this. Her and my stepdad, they hella mad. They hot arguing back for. I can't believe this. I'm like, yeah, you can't believe this because you don't understand how it is to run a business. Only thing you know is to go to that job, make your check, come home. That's it. So when shit start going up, she had to raise the price to make more money. She had to, long story short, she had to evict us. Then they got to this big feud with everything going on. Me and my cousins, we still stay solid, still stay close to this very freaking day. This is like my bro. But the tension between parents is still there. And I always saw it like, I was like, it doesn't make sense. It does to me. Maybe other issues happen I don't know about, but it doesn't make sense to me for my parents to be mad at all. Bro, we got to a point where it was a couple months, my mom and them wasn't even paying. They was like, F that. We ain't getting out type of shit. I still remember police had to come a couple times. They were trying to evict us, blah, blah, blah. There was so much eviction stuff on the wall. They just did not want to leave. And I was like, this is so fucked up in so many ways. And then my auntie just stopped renting the houses. Same thing happened with her and my dad. And her and my dad, they're actually brothers and sisters. I'm telling y'all too much shit, dog. Same shit. I'm telling you. They was helping you out. 3 years. In 3 years, you should have got on your shit. You knew damn, bro. If I'm homeless and I got kids and you let me live there for free, bro, all right, I gotta make the most of this moment. I don't know what's about to happen. I'm gonna let it finish. But imagine you just sitting there just enjoying it. That ain't the time to sit there and enjoy it. You got moves to make. You got a family. You got moves to make. You can enjoy it later. I'm gonna let it finish. Who knows? She probably be the victim of this shit. I be telling y'all too much shit about my family. I don't care. Fuck it.
Yet, when those 3 years were up, her reaction was far from grateful, as she immediately fought the decision to remove her from the home and refused to leave the premises, eventually going so far as to take these generous friends all the way to court, where unsurprisingly she would lose the case and subsequently be forced to leave the home. This situation was said to be the ultimate tipping point for Jessica's mental health, as she believed that this was all an elaborate plot against her to ruin her life, blaming the courts and the judge specifically for making her homeless.
Wow, really?
You used to be a good person, didn't you, Benji? You did. You used to actually have the desire for justice. God knows about you. That's why you're scared. And you know who I am, don't you? All your little friends and buddies know exactly who I am and what I'm about. Well, since this is just for Benjamin Green, kiss my ass.
Following this, the Indigo Mystic channel would no longer be a hub for positivity or spirituality, as Jessica would instead.
That's why I never trust them channels that only preach happiness anyway and always on there with a smile. No, I don't trust it. I'm goofy. I laugh a lot. But at the same time, boy, if I ain't feel some shit, I'll tell you.
Be a hub for positivity or spirituality, as Jessica would instead delete all of the channel's content, and in turn, she began obsessively uploading about the people who she believed had wronged her.
So, you want to attack me, huh? That's fine. Just get ready. And when I said karma was coming for you, I meant it.
And from that moment on, Jessica's videos would only grow more and more scathing, as little did she know, but there was yet another court battle looming in the distance. Following the initial court's ruling, Jessica and her children would begin couch surfing from place to place, living in a constant state of packing and moving, as due to the stress of the situation and her declining mental health, Jessica would begin picking fights and blowing up on those who were kind enough to take them in for free.
This is kind of going to be a downhill battle for them, because as an adult, when you broke, I get it. Hey, it'll make your ass cry. I'm not even playing, dog. So at that point, you got to do something. Me, honestly, I couldn't see me taking it out on people around me, because you got to understand a handout when you got one, man. Take advantage of that situation too. But I could see it draining my mental to the point where it's like, man, I got kids, or I'm packing my kids' suitcase up, living house to house. They ain't got their own bed. I'm going to feel like I got to do something, and something stupid to get some money. So I don't want to say it on YouTube. Bro, I remember one time I was hella broke, man. I had this little janky ass apartment, dummy roaches in that hole. Luckily, I ain't had no kids. I ain't had no girl or nothing. That shit used to hurt me every fucking day, dog. Damn, my car got repoed. I mean, it's more legit about to cry like, dog, I'm about to break in somebody's spot, which is bullshit, because you can't do that. Just because you effed up don't mean you got the right. I didn't break nobody's spot. That doesn't mean you got the right to break in somebody else's shit and take theirs, because they own their shit. What you should be doing. Accountability here. You see what I'm saying here? Accountability. That's the key. So you can't do that. My mental take me there. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm holy and all that. When you down that low, that's where your mental will take you. I didn't act on it though. Just keeping it 100 with you. That's where your mental will take you. I get it. But imagine being in that situation with kids. Boy. At this point, dog. Now at this point, I'm feeling bad for her. but only mentally wise. I'll say that. Mentally, I'm feeling bad for it. But you had 3 years living rent free. You should got on your shit. My bad for these long rents, but these type of videos, that's real life, dog. I got kids. I'm living for free. Stop playing with me. Look, Pop's about to go out there and get it with a wound. You know what I'm saying? Cuz gonna let you stay there, watch you know what I'm saying? Babysit. Hey, I'm about to get some money. You got to, man. For the babies, come on.
Fights and blowing up on those who were kind enough to take them in for free. Something that would be documented on numerous occasions across the Indigo Mystic channel.
You don't want none of me, I promise. Oh yeah, I do. Fantastic! And he's coming over. That's what woman, what am I doing? Get the fuck out of my face! She hit me first. Stop it. Get the fuck out of here. I'm just trying to get scared.
But of these combative instances, what stood out the most was just how involved the children were, as at that time she had trained them to record all of her arguments so that she can then upload them to YouTube and act as if she were the victim. But in reality, it's not hard to see that the real victim—
I was about to say smart move because I thought she was about to say upload them as like the fake pranks type of shit. I was like, at least that was smart. Monetize your pain, shit.
As if she were the victim. But in reality, it's not hard to see that the real victims were the children themselves.
Yep.
You go first, Mom. I'm scared. I don't know what's gonna happen next. Where are we gonna go?
I mean, the pain in their voice and—
said, where are we gonna go, man? Dog, I'm a father. This shit gonna make me cry. I'm gonna turn this shit off. Not like boo-hoo cry, but...
I mean, the pain in their voice and the fear they clearly had, knowing that they were being kicked out of yet another home, is heartbreaking, with this truly being how these kids lived on a daily basis, and others were starting to take notice. Seeing how the children were being treated and what they were living through, their biological father, a man named Sean, would attempt to gain custody to provide the children with a stable living environment.
Let him get that!
As he, along with many others, believed that Jessica wasn't fit to be caring for children at the time. This wasn't only due to the instability of her housing and her seemingly aggressive behavior, but Jessica herself had clearly become mentally unwell at best, and at worst—
it's downhill at this point, and that's for them babies. That's selfish. Not give up, man. I don't give it. You hella gotta love your kids to see in that situation. Yo, you gotta go with the other parent. Hopefully the other parent ain't on no weirdo ish. But I'm just, if the other parent is a better option, man, please. That's gonna give them kids a good life, a fair chance. Man, let them kids go there. I don't even mind. I struggle my damn self for the rest of my life, but as long as I know my kid's good, hey, let that happen. That's all I want. Should I eat noodles every day for the rest of my life? Fuck it. Let them be good.
Herself had clearly become mentally unwell at best, and at worst, she had become completely delusional, as she would begin posting videos claiming that she was being gang stalked.
All the stalking, all the gang stalking by my family and by these certain police factions needs to stop. I'm aware of you, honey. Don't you see me packing every time I go outside? And the more you come for me, the worse it's gonna be for you.
Along with this, she would also claim to have put hexes on the judges.
You're in regret, right? Scared? Can't sleep at night? Up all night? Maybe having ulcers? Yeah. That's right. If you only knew who I was. Hope those dreams are making you feel good. You're gonna regret ever getting yourself involved.
And her delusions would only get more and more bizarre, as at one point she even called out the judges for attempting to telepathically communicate with her, even accusing them of performing child sacrifices behind closed doors.
I know you watching me, and I know you're scared, and you should be. Dingledorf, he's too scared. He's too scared to even try to communicate with me telepathically, but you're scared, aren't you, Benji? What about the children? And you know what I mean. Those that you've sacrificed for your glory, because it's really hilarious, and it's going to be even more hilarious when my plan falls into place.
By this point, Jessica was completely detached from reality, and it seemed clear that she was neglecting the needs of her children, which would all come to a head on September 14th, 2021. That day, Jessica had
Somebody been watching one too many spiritual channels. I don't know, dog, but I ain't gonna count. Hey, but I dabble into my spiritual side. I do like it more than like any other side I've ever been on, to keep it 100. But at the same time, man, it just feel like, hey, I always feel like this. Never ever let anyone steal your imagination, ever. I just feel like I got a hold of my shit. And I love it. It's good to elevate. It's good to learn new shit. Some shit that I don't even believe in. I just, well, teach me about it. Let me learn. Nope, still don't like it. I don't really block shit from my brain, but at the same time, I'm real picky with it, if that makes sense. I'm not here to interfere with your life. I'm not here to make you understand my beliefs. None of that. When I share stories with y'all, it's just because these are my life experiences. I'm here recording with y'all anyway every day. Hey, may as well know who the fuck I am a little bit. You don't need to know everything. Trust me, you don't know everything. But as far as like, if I'm like, yo, I feel like we need to do this, I'm never gonna come at y'all with that. Never. Because at the end, I don't know what the hell gonna happen, what I'm gonna see, where I'm gonna be, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna be doing if I'm still here. Like, you never know. So I'm like, well, I'm here. I get it. I'm in the game. Let me just play the shit and enjoy it as best as I could, but still keep my sanity. I mean, I'm here. Shit. Shit get weird, dog. And ever since my mom passed, like, you do not know how many videos I watch of trying to understand where the fuck do you go, what happened. And then I started like thinking about it. It's like, nah, one of my favorite quotes is, you've been dead longer than you've been alive. I was like, all right, so let me think about that instead of me looking for what happened in the afterlife, because we don't know, because anybody who's there has never been in touch with us. So I was like, all right, let me take it a step back. Work smarter, not harder. All right, where the fuck was I before I got here? You can kind of interact with people that been there. Kind of. Babies, dog. They can't talk. They be saying words and shit. Like, just saying stupid shit. But what if they legit trying to say some shit from their previous life? I don't know if this is real. This is just how my mind be working sometimes. What if it's because they're holding on to that life, their previous life, or where they came from? And then that's why when they get to that point where they're like a little older, they don't remember shit. I don't remember what the hell I was doing when I was 1, 2, or 3. I don't remember. It's like, that's why they have to erase all that shit before, once my brain started developing. There it go. Oh shit. Oh yeah, I know my ABCs. That's it. See, I ain't want to get conspiracy like this, but these videos will do that, man. Shit get interesting to me though. Even though, like I said, some shit I don't believe in, some of it I do, but it's interesting to entertain sometimes. Honestly, her case is just accountability, honestly. You're delusional, but delusional was more the last guy. This one is just, it's alright, you don't want to be held accountable for nothing.
By this point, Jessica was completely detached from reality, and it seemed clear that she was neglecting the needs of her children, which would all come to a head on September 14th, 2021. That day, Jessica had been summoned into court for a hearing to determine the custody of her 2 children, something that she would discuss briefly in a video posted just hours before her arrival.
I'm actually going to court today against some people that are trying to take my children from me. The same people that took my home from me. the Jackson County court system. I really do feel more sorry for them and what's going to happen to them than me and my children, because my children aren't going anywhere. Anyway, if you don't see a video pop up in the next couple of days, I probably got arrested, because I'm not going to back down.
And upon arriving at court that day, Jessica would have her children film yet another one of her arguments, as she would refuse to enter the courtroom.
My name is the Indigo Mystic. I'm sorry, Jessica Worsham. You guys have already taken our home from us, and you denied us help when we were being attacked several times. They refused to go inside. So if you could just relay that information for me, I would greatly appreciate it. We stand in solidarity as sovereign individuals, and we're not going to tolerate this injustice. I don't know where the justice in this world went, in this country, but it is not here, fellas and ladies. Not here. I'm not going to have my children taken from me.
The situation ultimately only proved to the judge just how bad.
I get the fight for the children, though. It's going to be really hard to want to take a mother's child from her. I get it. Only thing I'm saying is legit ask yourself, though. Is it better for your kids to go without the parent? If it is and you know it, like, I don't mean like just better, like, oh, okay, it's a little better because now you got some food. Well, food is important, but you know what I mean? Like, if it's like a step up. But I mean, if it's legit, like, life-changing, like, yo, with me, y'all ain't got a shot. But even though I hate the mother, she's gonna love y'all and take care of y'all and give y'all a fair chance. I gotta let that happen. Got to.
My children taken from me.
The situation ultimately only proved to the judge just how bad things were in Jessica's mind, as the hearing would ultimately take place without her present, thus resulting in Jessica losing custody of her children, though only temporarily, as it was explained that once Jessica had found permanent residency and got help for her mental health issues, then she would be allowed to have her children back, and that this was only being done to keep the children safe. Though Jessica didn't see it this way, and under no circumstances would she be willing to give up her children, as she instead decided to take matters into her own hands. And immediately following the court's decision, Jessica Worsham and her 2 children
Don't go this direction.
would disappear. Well, not totally. Jessica did defy the court's decision, as she would take her children and go on the run, refusing to give them up. But even though most would assume that she would lay low for a while to avoid detection, in reality, Jessica would do just about the exact opposite, as she began posting more and more videos to her channel, this time outright threatening the judges whom she blamed this whole situation on, and daring them to take her children away from her.
They're mine. Mine, 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 M-I-N-E, mine. And I'll do anything, including lay my life down for them. And if you come after me, I'm just telling you right now, it ain't gonna go down pretty. No kinds of pretty is gonna come out of anything. And that's not a threat, that's a promise.
And her hatred wasn't just amplified towards the court officials, as she would also launch a whole new tirade against Sean, the father of her children.
You'll never have our love again. You'll never, ever see them again. They hate you.
With Jessica sinking to lower and lower depths to get back at him, with one of the most disturbing examples.
Or did you train them to? Again, like I said, I don't know what Sean is. He could be a shit-ass parent. If that's the case, yeah, you ain't getting him neither. But is he, though? I don't know.
Sinking to lower and lower depths to get back at him, with one of the most disturbing examples being when she had her children call him and tell them just how much they hated him and never wanted to see him again.
Isabella, do you want to be with Sean?
No.
Do you love him?
No.
Well, how do you feel about him?
I'm disgusted.
Hi, Sean.
Sounds very trained. I just want her to legit just talk to the man by herself. Don't ask him nothing. I mean her nothing. Man, that would be scary, dog. And like I said, legit, he could be a piece of ish. I don't know, but I'm just looking at my situation. If that was the case, oh gosh, bro, love my families, but I learned early when I saw my big bro in this whole little baby mama, baby daddy drama. I was like, I ain't taking that direction. I couldn't imagine my daughter, my son on the phone telling me that, and I can't see him.
Well, how do you feel about him?
I'm disgusted.
Hi, Sean. My daughter's trying to talk. How do you feel about him?
I think you're disgusting, and that's my opinion. That's my opinion and not hers, so I mean, seriously though, we're disgusted. We hate you.
This is what you've done to your family.
We really hate you, so why don't you just shut the hell up?
The whole time her children are talking, Jessica continues egging them on to say worse and worse things. And though obviously I can't speak on their relationship with their father, this is still an incredibly toxic and traumatic thing to have your children do. And things were just getting started on the Indigo Mystic channel, as she had started to mention the fact that she had owned a gun, in which she nicknamed Betty.
I was in there buying some ammo, some critical defense bullets for Betty. You know, because we gotta treat her right, you know.
Which would eventually lead to this clip.
Just for any of y'all that might want to get wild, you know. This is Betty. Alright? Get a good look. Any of y'all that think y'all might want to come at me, I got something waiting for you.
Things were clearly escalating, and were undoubtedly soon to reach their breaking points, which leads us to November 3rd, 2021, when two of the most chaotic, bizarre, and disturbing videos I have ever seen were posted to the Indigo Mystic channel.
Hold your phone on their faces. On their faces.
You need to get out of this house.
Who was that?
You need to get out of this house. You want me to call the cops and get you out of this house?
At this time, Jessica had yet again been living with another family.
I'm about to say, who the fuck was these people?
At this time, Jessica had yet again been living with another family, and that night, two members of that family had gotten into a verbal and physical dispute, leading to an older gentleman being pushed on the ground. But as the family was fighting, Jessica decided to interject, only escalating the situation even more, as she began screaming at the family before they all lost their patience and demanded she leave the house, with the younger man going as far as to call the police. And in a panic, the children ran upstairs in fear that they had yet again lost another home. Meanwhile, Jessica had remained downstairs as she continued to argue with the family as they waited for the cops to arrive. And when they did, Jessica would be standing at the door to greet them, with Betty in her hand. Noticing the commotion, the children would do as they were trained and grab the camera.
For some viewers, you don't watch, please. Oh shit.
Oh, please! Please stop! No!
Oh!
The children record just out of view as Jessica suddenly begins firing, leading to an all-out shootout with over a dozen shots ringing out, each of which being painfully captured as her children record helplessly, with the remainder of the video showing their reaction, which is just too upsetting for me to show. When it was all said and done, Jessica had fatally wounded 49-year-old Deputy Lena Marshall, a mother of three who tragically passed on the 18th anniversary of the death of her own son, while on the other side, Jessica Warsham laid dead in the doorway. Since the fatal incident, the Indigo Mystic channel still remains live, though as a shell of itself, as all of its uploads have now been wiped from the site, almost as if nothing ever happened, when in reality, this channel had perhaps one of the most disturbing life cycles ever seen on YouTube, with its final video being one of the darkest to ever be uploaded,
I agree, man.
as right after the shooting.
This shit had the most YouTuberish turn ever, because I don't know. A lot of people was real upset at PewDiePie when he made that change to his channel when he talked about he didn't want to act like a kid and pretend to make kid content anymore, and people was getting upset. But it turned a lot of shit around for a lot of YouTubers, I would say, because a lot of people started opening up being themselves like, man, for real, legit, nobody sit there and talk like this. Wow, Nelly, I jumped over the bridge. Nobody sit there and fucking talk like that all day. So I started noticing people being a little more comfortable and seeing, and that's why when I still see these channels, when they're like still too happy, you're like, oh, I don't know, a little creepy to me. Maybe you are though. I'm not saying that, but That is crazy. We saw her like legit, man. The little happy YouTuber, boom, boom, boom. That shit went left, and it was like one clip. I don't know if I was tripping or not, but like her eyes was just all black. I was like, maybe I'm just tripping because I need to wear my glasses. But I was like, I don't know, dog. But damn, man, those kids, man. I saw this quote. It was so fire. I'm about to bomb it. This is the end of the video anyway. It was like kids are I don't know who said it. I just saw it one day randomly. It was like kids are like brand new hard drives, ready to be programmed with any language or something like that. It was something around that way. And I was like, that's low key kind of true, whatever. But man, the shit you be seeing people, parents, programming to these kids' brains, that just be so damn toxic. And they grow up being that person. And you know, like, man, I remember being in high school. Let me wrap the video. Let me end this video real quick. Hold up.
And before they even knew the fate of their mother, the children would post the video with the misspelled title reading, "My mom is dead, I think," before days later, the whole channel would be wiped. I want to give a huge shout out to my gold tier patrons and my god tier patrons.
Damn, Nick Crowley. See, what was we about to talk about? Oh, man, I remember being in high school, dog. I remember this girl being pregnant. She already had a kid, and she was pregnant with a kid. And when I say this was the most ghettoest bitch I ever met in my damn life, dog. I'm telling you, even as a kid, I just used to see things a little further ahead. I be telling people, I knew it. I used to be looking back and watching her like, man, this is not going to be good for these kids, because these kids going to grow up to be just like mommy. When I say talking to this person, even if it was a, hey, how your day going, you would receive the worst energy, the worst response back ever. And I be wondering to this day, like, man, what the hell is she doing? Like, I just be wondering, dog. It's crazy. And the scary part is, you can be an amazing parent. You can be a good parent. You can raise the best, the most loving, caring, strong, whatever kid in this world, right? Intelligent, smart, kind, all of this. You did it. Good job, congratulations. You ain't gotta worry. Yes, you do. Because hell, other people didn't do that. And your kid just might bump into one of them mugs. Friend them, make an enemy out of one of them, and then you know what happened from there. It's crazy, just like a car accident. I mean, just like driving the cars. You follow all the rules, be good as hell. You ain't gotta worry about you most of the time. Most of the time, it's everyone around you. There's nothing you can do about it because they're here. So there's nothing you can do. I'm gonna wrap this one up. We're gonna get back to some ghosts and some scary stories and shit, because this shit, boy, Nick Crowley, damn. This boy channel take you right to goddamn rotten.com. Shit. And before I wrap it up, I'm gonna say this. There's nothing wrong with those channels that be super happy all the time. I get it. A lot of people need it, because at the end of the day, we're YouTubers. We're still here for entertainment. We're still here to be either the person that we really are or the person that we want to be on camera regardless. So when people come to these videos, most of the time, most people come, just like when I watch TV, I'm not going there because I really want Cedric the Entertainer to be himself. I want him to be Cedric the Entertainer. That's why I'm watching, right? That's all. I don't know why it was on the name I could think of at the time, whatever. Oh, because I just recently started watching Neighborhood. But, so I get it. But that's why when I go to like their Instagrams or their Twitters or whatever they're doing, to see like, oh, what you doing? That's cool, whatever. I see them just doing normal stuff and going through problems like we go through. Not all the time. They got some of them, not all of them. But you know what I mean, though. But I get it. So when I get a character versus if I were to bump into you in real life and you're totally different, I get that. I ain't about to be upset. Oh, you ain't even really. I understand it, dog. That's what I be telling you. You gotta understand it, man. This is all a fucking game. Hey, but look, I'm about to go ahead and wrap up this video, though. Go ahead, enjoy your day, evening, night, whenever you're watching this. I don't know. But I'm out.